Centre went under the hammer on Thursday for 60 million rand.
Long before this auction, we have known that the companies would put under liquidation. At some stage or the other, things will be sold out. The Department of Home Affairs, Department of Public Works have been engaging with the liquidators, and they promised us, as far as we know, the first right of refusal, meaning that if the property if they are going to get rid of the property, the state will have the first right of refusal. The main reason being that Lindela is part and parcel of the justice system in the country, because we've got people there who come into the country to apply for asylum, to come as asylum seekers, to apply for refugee status, and if they can't get successful and they appear in front of a judicial officer, a magistrate or a judge, who then rules that yes, they don't qualify, they must be deported, they've got to go to Lindela. It's like somebody who is sentenced to maybe in a court of law. He goes to correctional service facility. You then can't tell a judge that no, this person can't serve because, or can't go there because the facility is full. You can't do so. So we can then say to the court, there's no repatriation center because it has been sold out. So that's why we're negotiating this. Now, unfortunately, because I must state this, on Friday, both myself and Minister Delil were very busy. We hear late in the afternoon that the property has been auctioned. We're still finding out what happened to our first right of refusal. We're finding out, and by tomorrow, I think we'll be having definite answers as to where do we stand. Lindela has got a capacity of 5,000 people, but it does not mean there are always 5,000 people there. The last time, I don't know the most current figure, but the last time I checked, there were 900 people there who have gone through the court processes. The other group that went there recently are that group that staged a sit-in at the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees offices. If you remember, the judge in court ruled that they must be taken out and be arrested, but we arrested the men. We decided not to arrest the women and children, and we had to find a place for them, and we found a place in Lindela. They are not there because they need to be repatriated. They were there because they needed a place to stay in, because we didn't want to put them in jail. So there are two different groups of people: those who went through court processes and those who were just sent by us there as women and children who can't go to jail, but who have to be kept there until these issues with the arranging the protest have been resolved. We had a contract with Bosasa because they own that place, but they also got a contract to operate the place. So we're paying them the rental, but we're also paying them for operations like giving food, accommodation, security, healthcare, etc. Right? Now, when it was put under liquidation, that contract to provide services went directly to the liquidator, and we started dealing with the liquidator and paying the liquidator. Sometimes in October, the liquidator then said, no, this contract of running the facility, I'm giving it to somebody else from the beginning of November. And then, by November, this whole thing will have expired. This contract will have expired. And Home Affairs must sort of advertise a new one. And then at that moment, because I also spoke to them directly, they then said, no, we are giving over the contract to operationalize, but the contract of ownership, we're going to come out, we still have 11 months to make sure that this property is disposed of, and you will get the first right of refusal. That there was going to be an auction, I and Minister Patricia Delil only had it on Wednesday, and we're in Parliament in Cape Town when we had this an auction, and we started phoning around to find out what's happening. The next thing we hear is that it has been auctioned. So that's the part that we don't understand, that we are trying to traverse through and find out exactly what happened. Because the part that we knew all the time, all of a sudden ended on Wednesday and Thursday.